Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Do We Know Them? We're on episode 220, and it's really early.
Hell yeah.
It's really early, and I'm still drinking a Truly.
We mostly film at night, and then sometimes on the rare occasion when things, hold us up or we just something went wrong in the schedule, we'll record the next morning. And so it's Valentine's Day right now. Happy Valentine's Day, Queen.
Happy Valentine's Day to you. Are you ready to be my Valentine? Because
listen, I'm down.
No one else here. But also, the reason we're filming in the morning is because we had an extra little project this week because we have an almost 2-hour special bonus Patreon episode for the diabolical tier where we talk about Janet for 2 hours.
Yeah, we really let loose, and I'm interested to see if she herself becomes a member to watch it. Anyway, you can check it out if you want to on patreon.com/DoWeKnowThem. Thank you to all our patrons. It's gotten a good response. People liked it, and they like how long it is. It's literally the size of a regular episode, which is not typical.
And there's a lot of highlighting in it, so I would appreciate if you go watch.
Lots going on. But anyway, we have a full episode for you today, so let's just get into it because we are going to be discussing our good friend, Michelle, the bartender. You want to know something crazy?
What?
I was watching these links. I was clicking on some of them just to see, because sometimes I don't even I haven't seen the full videos, and I still haven't, but I just wanted to see everything and check the doc. And we have our researcher download TikToks because people delete them so much that it's just download them and put them on a drive. So I was watching them on the drive and I was I'm curious what people's comments were. And I go and I can't find her TikTok anywhere.
We're
and
blocked?
I was just oh my God, did she delete it? And then I texted our researcher and I was did she just delete her fucking profile? She goes, no, bitch, you're blocked.
I mean, that makes sense. She did comment on our YouTube video that time, didn't she?
Oh, she sure did. She said that we got everything wrong, and I don't know what the fuck else she said.
Oh my God.
Something about a timeline. And I was girl, nobody was even talking about a timeline. We're talking about how you are exploiting your child and putting your toxic ass marriage and now divorce on the internet, and you shouldn't.
I'm curious. Am I blocked too?
Oh, you're going to see if you're blocked?
Yeah.
Of course you are. We are one, sister. Okay? If I get blocked, you get blocked. That's how this works.
Did we both get blocked? Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
We both get blocked.
Yep. No
You
bio.
blocked?
No bio.
Uh-huh.
0 followers.
That was recent. That was very recent.
Interesting. Well,
Another one bites the dust.
I don't really mind with that one.
Me neither.
I don't really
Literally
mind
don't
with
care.
most of them.
I just remembered now that this absolutely was recent, and the reason she did this is
The
because
award
so
show?
many people were tagging us in the TikToks we're going to be commenting on here.
Oh, well, that's what
Because
I thought
I
you were
remember
going to
seeing
say.
them.
I thought you were going to say I went to the comments and only saw us.
Yeah, I definitely had been on her profile very recently, so she saw that people were tagging us, and she's like, they're not going to get me. Joke's on you.
Yeah, well, I think that's stupid because 1, incognito mode, duh. And 2, we never interact with them. So it's blocking feels so pointless to me because you don't have to be logged in to watch a TikTok.
No, you don't. But anyway, the reason that we're here is because she's done it again, folks. Well, actually, no. When I say
I
that
feel
sentence, it sounds
isn't-
like she overshared.
Yeah, I feel like this is a new trajectory.
Side quest?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a new little fun game she's playing, which is let's spread some conspiracy theories. She really likes it.
Oh, yep. Love that.
The Super Bowl, right? Most people either saw it or heard about it or just watched the halftime show like myself. Well, Michelle the bartender, nay. She did not watch the halftime show. And do you want to know why? Let's let her explain it.
I'm not going to be watching the Super Bowl. I'm just going to watch the commercials. Literally, that's all I'm going to watch because my For You page is full of people warning us not to watch the halftime show at the very least, that there's some black magic going on. If you don't believe in that, that's fine. I'm a Christian. There was also a lot of people with prophecies that have had dreams that God told them to share, that there's going to be some dark message that's going to come into us.
Okay, first of all, I have a ton of conspiracy theories on my For You page.
That one didn't make it?
No, I missed the dark magic one. I did see ones of people having dreams about something bad happening at the Super Bowl in general, not dark magic.
I think that things like that are culminations of people really stressed out and anxious about the state of the world, and it manifests in people in different ways. Some people worry to the point that it's all they think about. It could send them into psychosis. It could send them into really dangerous places because the mind is a very powerful thing and the world is very scary. So people thinking that something horrible is going to happen at the Super Bowl, that someone's going to go in there and do something bad to people, it is a valid fear, but it also comes from just the state of the world. And I understand why people would talk about that and stuff, but it really is just that. It's anxieties from what's happening around the world. It's not necessarily a tangible thing that's I'm going to warn people there's going to be an attack. It's like, you don't know that. You know?
The ones that I've seen, that definitely is what people are saying. But again, not dark magic. That's a new, that's
okay,
a bit
so
of
the black magic thing,
Yeah.
and I want to be gentle because I know that religion is something people are really sensitive about, but like, this sounds like religious psychosis. Like this literally, when people speak like this and they speak about you're speaking this curse through the TV and it's going to come through the TV and that doesn't sound normal. That doesn't sound like something that somebody who is of a sound mind would say.
I feel like also a mix between what's going on in the world and then like when you combine in a lot of people in recent years have been very into the conspiracy theories about celebrities being like satanic.
Every single Super Bowl, I think for the last like 5 years has been like, it's Satan coming.
Well, is it even just the Super Bowl? It's like any kind of award show, any kind of performance, any kind of like, oh my God, I'm going to send you. It's like a reverse We Love the Internet early. It is a video of Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark at the Chiefs game recently. And apparently they're doing hand signals.
See, the hand signals too. And then I've asked people who believe in all this shit. And I'm like, so why would they do it in public? Why would they make it obvious?
I've asked that about all the pedophile ones too, because I'm like,
are they what they say, right?
They're like signaling each other, or it's an initiation, or
no,
like...
it's literally like rooted in religion where they believe that, I mean, this is just some of the people I've spoken to, okay? Not trying to offend anyone, but they believe that the devil, his like curse is that everything he does, he has to do it in like broad daylight. Like he has to tell you that he's doing something. He can't just like hide things. Basically, it's like they do it publicly because they have to. And I'm like,
okay, got it.
What's the source on that?
Let me know what you think about this one.
How they don't even hide it. And in fact, they have to show you. So this is at NFL
they have
football
to show
game.
you.
You got
That's what I'm saying.
Caitlin Clark there and Taylor Swift. Anything strange happen? Let's see. Oh, there we had it right there. Did you catch that? Do you realize for this to be accidental? First thing, how often do you accidentally do this? Okay, let alone both of you doing it at the same time, let alone just as the camera pans on you.
Taylor Swift, first of all, is not even making that hand motion. She's like going like this.
Isn't that like the sign for I love you?
That.
I just did it. What does it mean?
I know, I'm sending you my comment. I just said, this is so embarrassing. P.S. And then I used the emoji that does that fucking hand signal. Better go after Apple next.
I just don't get it. Like, is this just to instill fear? Like, I don't understand this whole crowd of people that eats this shit up. First of all, have you ever seen look at what I just did. I just did this by accident. Like literally my hands, they be moving. Okay. Some people have very expressive hands. I am one of those people. If people were hyper focusing on my hand movements, I definitely make some questionable gestures by accident. We'll keep watching Michelle's TikTok, but it's very much in line with these types of people. It just seems like she's just gobbling this shit up. You watch those videos and you're like, who's believing this?
That's what
Bartender.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I say that, but then I look at the comments and I'm like, holy fuck. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, that I saw a comment on that one that was like something about them being the Antichrist.
Yep.
And it's like,
yep. Not Taylor Swift. Antichrist.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And or into your house through your TV. If you
What is
watch
it,
the
The Ring?
halftime show.
I said earlier, I'm like, it's giving The Ring.
Trying to pass the message along. But I do want to know what Elon Musk paid $40 million to tell us. Even if you're not a Christian, if you believe in psychics, like if you believe that they are real, there was a video that I saw. It was a really lengthy video, and the psychic wasn't the person that was telling the story, but it was an anonymous story that got sent into them that said, do not watch the halftime show. Don't watch the Super Bowl.
So it wasn't even the psychic. It was a friend of a friend of a friend. Got it.
Like, well, it was anonymous, but you know, it was true.
Well, I'm just going to watch the commercials. I'm going to turn off the halftime show when it comes on. And honestly, I'm a little disappointed because the halftime show is usually better than the game itself. If you do have to watch it for some reason, just know I'll be praying for you.
Stop. I will be praying for you. I'm dead. I can't.
What did Elon Musk pay 40 million for?
I don't know, to wipe his ass. He literally pays $40 million to do nothing. Maybe a commercial. This is so funny because I'm like looking at the juxtaposition of it, of like her freaking out, be like, I'm praying for you, and me in my living room when Kendrick was singing. I'm just like, hell yeah. What are you praying for people for? Like, it's such a fear-based thing that I don't understand at all.
The amount of conspiracy theories I do see in not the exact like don't watch the Super Bowl vein, but like that all follow the same kind of fear mongering of like nothing. Like there's no actual like
I know.
end result that they're predicting. It's just like it's dark.
Have you ever seen The Dark Sided Lady? Our researcher put this link in here and I love her for it.
Because we talked about it during the Janet thing because Lauren saying that
the kitty thing.
the kitty was talking about demonic stuff.
Don't stay in my house if you're dark-sided. I don't want to see a book of witches. I don't want to see anything, any stars. I don't want to see any of this dark-sided psychics, all the things, tarot card reading. I rebuke it in the name of the Lord. Mom, come no. She's tampering in dark-sided stuff. Yes, she did. The entire house is dark-sided.
It gets me every time. I love it so much.
You know, she goes on TikTok live all the time and she's actually really sweet. And like she plays around with it. People ask her to say things are tampered. She goes, it's tampered and dark side. I think she's really stressed out, okay? I think the show got to her. Anyway.
Well, so I didn't know that Michelle the bartender was particularly religious.
Neither did anyone else. And I don't know what would have given us that idea. I'm not even talking about the drinking. I'm more so talking about her using her son's toys, his bath toys, to demonstrate how her new boyfriend makes her squirt.
Never saw that one. Don't want to.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I'll just toss to it then and just make it all of us suffer.
I don't even know how to even say that. I know I don't have to answer this question, but I wanted to because I want to I didn't know that my body was able to do certain things that it can do. I have tried. I've read books on how to, you know how... I don't even know how to say this. Dang it. Okay, I got it. You know what you do with bath toys, like that? You know what you call that? Okay. I thought it was him, actually. And I was like, oh, did you? He goes, no. I could not believe it. I was so shocked.
I am not the person to police who's a Christian woman. I don't even know what makes someone a good Christian and a bad Christian. I don't know. Not my, what is it? Not my circus, not my monkeys. Like I literally just don't, I don't know. But you know, she's just not the first name that comes to mind when you're thinking Christian. And a lot of people had that same sentiment. But some of the comments below that TikTok that we just watched were, girl, you've been red pilled. Seek help, please. The other one said, I'm so glad I'm not an uneducated bartender in a small town experiencing religious psychosis.
That's really on the nose.
A little mean, but a little accurate. I mean, when you think psychosis, it really is a scary thing. I've experienced people in my life who've had it. Like it is terrifying, but religious psychosis, I think, is a little bit different. And I think it may be more common than people realize. Like religion in general does require a lot of faith of things you can't see. Mm-hmm. And so that can play tricks with people's mind to the point that since you can't see or hear things, but you're meant to believe they're real, then that's a tricky thing for a brain to understand. You know what I mean? And it could easily snowball, in my opinion.
And
obviously.
Also, I think, like, for example, I just even saw a post yesterday where everyone in the comments was suspecting that the girl who had posted it was in the midst of some kind of psychosis. She was super paranoid and said people like had hacked into her network and was like going on. It was like very nonsensical. I think the issue with religious psychosis is that people could like be experiencing it and tell someone that isn't experiencing it, and they would like validate it and be like, yep,
that's well. And here's the thing with
accurate.
psychosis too, you're not necessarily supposed to challenge it. It could be dangerous to do that as well. It is a tricky situation when someone's experiencing a false reality, but I think that it's not just they're not challenging it. It's like what you just said, validating it and supporting it and encouraging it.
Yeah.
You know, people will literally say, I've heard God's voice. I've heard him in my ears. He speaks to me.
It's always been confusing to me.
Yeah. Like, you know, it's not that I'm trying to like make fun of anyone or like say that it's not real, that you feel a presence and like the Holy Spirit and all that. But like hearing a man's voice when God is not even like, yeah, he's a man, but like he's not like a human man with a human voice. Like if he was real, in my opinion, I don't know what's real. But like if he was, it's not like he's like Bob from down, like what does he even sound like? You know what I mean? I think that that's a form of religious psychosis. And then people are like, you heard him? What a blessing. Like that does get scary. It does encourage people to explore a part of their brain that I think can get confused and can just spiral a little bit. Yeah. And then you have people like Michelle the bartender who like, she doesn't even entirely look like she knows what she's talking about. And her source, we're going to look at it now, she shows them Like she shows little clips of what she believed and the reason why she boycotted the halftime show.
And it's not even like convincing. It's like, you believed that?
It's literally like the ones that I look at and I'm like, who the fuck? Let's actually take a look at those.
Why is everybody making my halftime show video about race? I never one time mentioned Kendrick. I'm about to turn my comments off on that video so that everybody has to come here to insult me or whatever they're about to say. Here are the clips that led me to create that video and post it. This is the first video.
Is a ritual used by the elite to manipulate the masses,
Got it.
according to an alleged psychic who emailed me.
This is the shit that I see on my For You page that I'm like, oh, the global elite. Yes. Of course.
And look at the caption on screen. A psychic emailed me about the Super Bowl. This person wanted to be anonymous.
Oh, okay.
How the fuck are we supposed to verify this? And the fucking caption on the bottom says, a person who identifies as a psychic. It's like, are they psychic or are they not? You can't just identify as one.
It's also in the playlist, Spooky Scary Story Time.
With the monster emoji. It's all a bit much, I'll say. Anyway.
I'm convinced, I fully believe that 90% of the people that post this shit do not believe it at all.
No.
And they're
Of
just
course
doing it
not.
for views.
Meanwhile, Michelle the bartender likes and
Eating it
favorites
right up.
immediately.
Yep. Mhm.
Let me spread the word.
Well, that's why they do it.
This person wanted to be anonymous but wanted to share their story because the Super Bowl is coming up. So this person used to work as a psychic, the kind that you read about in classified CIA documents. The man eventually reveals to him that he is actually part of an elite group that does rituals and certain magic to counteract rituals and magic done by dark forces and the elite.
Black magic.
That's black
Shut
magic.
the fuck up.
You know what's so funny is like I grew up too in Miami, like there's Santeria and stuff, and like people do witchcraft, and I do believe in witchcraft. Like I know that people's energy, if harnessed and like focused on an individual, can be powerful. Okay.
But I feel like witchcraft, it's taken and become such like a spectacle of like stereotypes and like things that aren't even really what witchcraft and stuff is about.
Like literally, I think my mom too, because she's religious, like my mom believes that like if you practice witchcraft even good, it'll invite like the bad energy in. You know what I mean? Like there's
like
people
you
that
open
do
up a
believe
gate
that.
and you can't control what comes in.
Yeah. And then my argument is always like, I am a powerful energy. I am one with the freaking universe. I decide what
read the
enters my
vibes.
fucking space and not. Like, you don't get to freaking tell me that like a ghost is gonna come in my house. No, if I was haunted, I'll be like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. Like literally goodbye. And I'm not paying attention to you.
I think for a lot of this, it's like it has whatever power you give it. So it's like if you're terrified of
That's
something,
what I
you're going to
feel.
see stuff that isn't legitimate.
Yeah.
Events like the Super Bowl and big concerts, and that magic is usually done in the mundane. The man tells him that if there's some event that's going on, something fun that's happening for purely entertainment's sake, it's usually not that. There's usually a layer of magic going on that you're not seeing. This man tells him
Black
that there's
magic.
an important event coming up.
Shut up. Is this a parody? Like what? Is she kidding?
Jump scares of Michelle the bartender.
Black magic. Yeah, Michelle, we fucking get it.
To stop something that's going to happen at the Super Bowl. He also reveals that he's been part of certain Hollywood rituals as an op to counteract whatever's been going on. He also shows footage to the
Very
psychic
big.
of these rituals. He tells the psychic that during Super Bowl specifically, the elite and these bad people use the focus and the excitement
Who are
and
the
the
bad
undivided
people?
attention of the crowd to direct attention and intention to focus on bringing their goals into being. The man tells the psychic that what they're going to do at this specific event is going to change America in a very specific way. He says they do this at every large event, and there are a lot more sinister things that you could ever imagine because the 1% are very twisted and sick. He also tells the psychic that they're filthy rich for a reason.
And as I went
This is
into
the second
prayer,
one.
Stop
I
it.
began
Shut.
to see a vision. I saw the Super Bowl stadium. I saw this man. He was singing on the Super Bowl.
No.
In the Super Bowl.
No.
He had a microphone in his hand, and as soon as he began to sing, I saw these demons,
Stop.
and they were dispatched throughout the stadium. They were going into people. I saw demons literally going into people, and they were
Dementors.
going into people's homes, and they were going into them.
Oh,
And
you don't say.
I knew whenever I come out of that, whenever the vision ended, that there's witchcraft going to be cast
Of course.
over the Super Bowl. This is a warning. Do not watch the Super Bowl halftime show.
There were other videos that I saw.
There was more like that?
And I mean this
Oh my goodness.
so seriously. I cannot believe that those were her two examples.
I mean, I kind of can, given the nature of that entire genre, but like, holy
That is
fucking shit.
insane.
I mean, there was a man with a microphone. Yep, that's pretty standard if they're gonna
And
have
what is
a
this
man
vision? Were
performing.
you like, was the vision a dream?
Yes,
Like, did you
yes,
dream or are you
yes.
hallucinating? One or the
Either
other.
or.
Either or.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not sure it
concerned.
matters.
I saw, but those two alone were enough to make me not watch the Super
Michelle,
Bowl.
that makes me so concerned for you and your child.
I'm dead.
Gotta spread the word. Gotta warn everyone. Turn off your TVs so they don't come through the screen. Is everyone okay? Did we all survive the black magic?
I'm feeling pretty good. And I watched the halftime show. That's literally the only part I did watch. We're a little out of order here because now I'm going to go back. Sorry, I just really wanted to show Lily that one. But like, I'm going to go a little bit back to like fresh after the Super Bowl ended. She was talking about the commercials.
Where were the commercials?
So angry.
I just watched that whole game. Unless I missed it during halftime or something. I videotaped every time they went in commercial. I know y'all feel played because I feel played. They were trying to get us to watch the Super Bowl to be able to save the numbers because otherwise nobody would have watched it. But our girl Alex did make it in the commercial. Did y'all see that? A lot of y'all know she came to Raleigh a couple weeks ago, and I know somebody from the bar that she went to called Whiskey Rose. The girl that I know worked there. She said she wasn't working the night that Alex went there, but there was a lot of fights. She said she was really glad she wasn't working.
What the hell?
It was
What are you talking about?
really crazy. But imagine how it feels to be able to say that you were in a Super Bowl commercial.
What is happening? Why are you showing us this now? The green screen. You see it? She's like, that should be me.
I'm so confused. What was even
I'm
that
even
story
more.
about she came to Raleigh and your friend was working at the bar she went to, but she wasn't even working that night.
Everything she says is like, it never
She
makes
seems a
any
little
sense.
all over the place. Like,
Okay, like more than usual, right?
absolutely. And her eyes, and
Yeah.
she's kind of weird jaw maneuvering and
Yeah, so someone commented, this is exactly how I felt when I went through a manic episode. Good luck, babe. Hope you're getting enough sleep, taking care of yourself, and feel better soon. Nobody could tell me nothing either. Because she posted this about her being a Christian, because people were like, are you even a Christian? Like, what? Where is this all coming from?
I'm gonna say this one last thing before I go to bed because my halftime show video is like popping off from.
Aren't you working? What do you mean go to bed? Isn't she in the
she's in a
bar?
bar. Yeah, I'm confused. I don't know.
Just hating on me in there. Whatever. I don't care. Unfollow me because I'm a Christian. I don't care. Maybe that was just a message from God to me. Maybe I wasn't supposed to share it. I don't know. I felt like I.
But the two videos you watched, I don't think those were God.
First of all, God, if he's been trying to send you that message, he's been trying to do that for a long time. He's just been like, girl, stop. These are just for you. Keep it to yourself. Stop sharing.
The two videos that you saw on your For You page? Like, what do you mean?
That was just for her.
Maybe that was just a message from God to me. Maybe I wasn't supposed to share it. I don't know. I felt like I should, though, to my fellow Christian
pretty on the
people,
nose,
because
the messages
whenever
you showed
there's
us.
a message, you aren't going to notice it. It'll be subliminal. Even if there wasn't some subliminal, like, dark message that was sent out during the halftime show,
Oh, yes.
I wasn't taking the chance, okay? I'm not trying to invite any type of demon into my house or into me. So everybody that's over there hating on me, saying that I'm like on something or asking me if I'm an alcoholic because I'm off my rocker, go ahead and talk your shit. You're allowed to. It's freedom of speech. I may block you for it. I respect
did.
whatever it is that you believe in. And you don't have to believe the same thing as me. That is our free will as humans. I'm not over here trying to shove anything down anybody's throat. And apparently we didn't miss anything because I've heard from other people that the halftime show wasn't very good. So whatever.
Yeah, that lets me know a lot about her because
Yeah.
that's not what the people I
Yeah, it was like-
follow and
Yeah,
talk to.
same.
That's not
I was
what they
like,
were
I've
saying.
heard actually great things,
I've
but
literally heard the polar opposite. So people got really frustrated with her use of black magic and were like insinuating, I guess, that it had to do with race, which I do think is pretty stupid because black magic isn't linked to race. So I think it's just stupid that she's saying it was black magic in general.
yes, agreed. I think the race thing would come into play when she's like, I heard it wasn't even that good because it's kind of, I bet, yeah.
Same with the people who are like, what is he even saying? Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand him.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. But this is her defending the use of the words black magic, which is very important, obviously. She's got to address this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I turned the comments off on the video warning people not to watch the halftime show to redirect them to the video that I just posted, but it got flagged for community guidelines because all my haters just love to report me. But I appealed it and we'll see if it gets put back up. Everybody's calling me racist now. That's just the crazy, like, nobody mentioned anything about Kendrick or race at all in that video. And now people are attacking me because I'm a Christian bartender and I drink alcohol. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you had to be a certain profession to believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Now y'all are putting all these rules on me. Show me a perfect Christian. Yeah, I'm not gonna wait because you can't. And a lot of people are coming for me about the race thing because I said black magic. I wasn't saying that it was because a black person was doing magic. I searched in Google, what is black magic? Black magic is the use of supernatural powers or magic for evil or selfish purposes. It's also known as dark magic. Yeah, maybe I should have said dark magic instead of black magic. Like, I didn't realize that that was a term that we weren't allowed to use. I guess I'm just learning a lot. You can't say black magic, you gotta say dark magic. You can't be a bartender and be a Christian. You also can't drink alcohol if you're gonna be a Christian. Everybody thinks that I'm on drugs. Calling me racist doesn't bother me because I know that I'm not. I was tired of having to approve all these dumb comments. Hundreds of comments that are like, I have to approve for that video. And I'm not gonna do it anymore. I just don't feel like doing it, so I just turned them off. And I was gonna send you guys to the video that led me to post the video that I did about the halftime show, but y'all won't let me post it. So I guess you're gonna be stuck with this one.
What do you mean they won't let you post it? Who's stopping you?
Then she decides to make a black magic drink, like a cocktail that is dark. And I'm just like,
an interesting choice.
If you're so scared of black magic, doing something like that, even for comedy, would be inviting that energy, according to your logic. Then she says that this was a test. I'm confused.
I just recorded a skit and I'm gonna post it. And I'm going back to my bartending content, not because y'all are telling me to. I was doing something for myself. My whole life, I have been a people pleaser. I have cared way too much about what other people think about me. And this was a test in a way, and also something that I had to do for me. If you have unfollowed me because of something that I said in the past couple of days, do you know how freeing it is to not give a fuck? I feel like something has been freed in me. If you have unfollowed me, that means that you weren't even a true supporter of me in the first place.
Maybe they just wanted to watch you make some drinks and do some skits. Yeah. Like, what the fuck do you mean they were never a true supporter? Maybe they didn't know your true feelings about religion or politics or whatever the fuck, and then they found it out and they don't want anything to do with you. Like, maybe that's what happened.
I did this for me. You spread this weird message that people are gonna invite in dark magic by watching the Super Bowl. That was for you.
She responds to a comment that says, "We don't hate you. You were spreading fear for no reason and you never took accountability." And this is her response.
I'm all about people taking accountability for what they've done. And that's why I haven't taken my video down. I can't do that because then I would portray the message that I don't stand by what I say.
That's not what accountability means.
And I do. It's one thing to let a couple of videos that you see lead you to not want to do something. And it's another thing to voice that out to potentially millions of people. And I also want to take accountability for the fact that I did not come with receipts when I said that Elon Musk had spent $40 million of his own money for 5 Super Bowl ads. That was my bad. I'd seen it so many places and heard it by so many people that I just thought it was true. I should always have receipts. Or at least do my own research if I'm not going to show the receipts behind me.
I don't know if doing your own research is that much of a vote of confidence for me.
I think that she's missing the glaring fucking point, which is like, you are very, very gullible, which same queen, hi. And that's okay. And if you understand that you're susceptible to just believing the first thing that you see, it is a good idea to make it a habit to cross-check that, because your For You page, if there's anything that I have learned, it's like, it is so that algorithm, my God, does it cater to you. So you really think that you're getting like a well-rounded view of how people feel about certain things, but you're not. You're getting your own perspective echoed out and something that you will like and engage with.
But then the problem with someone like her is that it's like, oh, well, I'll just do my own research next time. Michelle, the bartender, doing her own research, they will only find the
confirmation
research that
bias.
Exactly. I'm like, they're only going to find the research that validates whatever they said.
Exactly. So it's not really something that I think she's acknowledging, that it's like, dude, you were super gullible and then you spread shit. And she did a whole other TikTok where she showed something about Elon Musk. And it was something about government spending and how they're going to fix something with FEMA. And she was like, yeah, and this is my source. And the source was an Elon Musk tweet.
That's what they
it's
all
like, girl.
are. Don't get me started.
I'm like, dude, that is so stupid. I don't think Michelle the Bartender is particularly influential, but at the same time, you do have a good amount of followers. Like,
Well,
don't
no,
do
but
that.
she just is then spreading the exact same stuff, and it's gonna lead more people to say, "Oh, well, I saw it so many places.
I saw it."
And it's like, yeah, who told you that? And it's like Twitter, and I'm like, at this point, anything that is on Twitter, I don't believe.
Yeah, and you know that joke that it's like, oh, I just read an article on this, and then the article is a TikTok they saw. Like, that is very, very real
That is
amongst
society now.
many people.
Yeah.
But we have to be careful, everyone, myself included. Like, it is easy to see something, and then let's say they put an article and they're like showing and they're talking about it.
You have to read what
just
the article
take it for
says.
what it is and not read further into it.
Yeah.
So I just don't think she's getting that point. She's just like, oh, I'll have my receipts. Where'd you get those receipts from? Elon Musk's Twitter? Like, no, thank you. We don't want them.
On a green screen. I was wrong about that. And I feel really played myself. And I'm sorry that I said that to you guys. I have learned a lot. And this had nothing to do with Kendrick, by the way. I love his music. I did that one trend, like bing, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, bam.
stop.
I quote that song all the time. I freaking love that song. They have been...
I'm not racist. I like Kendrick Lamar's Bing Bop Beep Boop song. I'm fucking dead.
I did that
is
trend
so funny.
that time.
That's pretty much it. It was just an interesting little spreading of misinformation. Well, that's why also it's just hitting me. She was upset when she's like, where are the commercials? I was filming them all. She was looking for Elon Musk's commercials.
Oh.
And
What
then
were
she
they
got, like,
supposed to be
frustrated.
for?
I don't fucking know. The truth. Free speech. Letting you
free
know
speech
what's happening in the government.
Coming
Like,
from
you
the
don't even
people
work here,
that are
bitch.
like eliminating free speech from like, no, you can't put pronouns in your email.
Literally. All things considered, I know Michelle the Bartender is kind of a weird cookie, and she always has
Much
been.
more so now.
But yeah, she does seem to be a little bit
Scattered.
almost not even like erratic, but just a little bit nonsensical. And I don't know if it's because when you like press someone, like people can be chill and whatever, and then you press them about like a political thing or like their religious beliefs, and like the way they talk it gets very weird quick. So I don't know if it's just the topic matter that's making her like passionate and all like jerky and whatever, or if she really is struggling with something, or if she's just, you know, a little bit lost in the sauce right now. I don't know what it is.
She just usually comes off as much more like, she said even like, oh, do you know how freeing it is to like not give a fuck? I feel like normally she comes off as like pretty chill and like not giving a fuck. This, not very chill.
Nothing about this was chill.
No.
But I mean, I hope she's fine. I think it was weird that she spread this misinformation. I think it's weird to fearmonger with such a large fan base. Like, it's stupid, and it could be dangerous. It could validate people's mental situation surrounding religion and otherwise. Like, I just think she shouldn't have done any of it. And hopefully next time she thinks before she does it. And I mean, I feel like that's the end of everything we talk about with Michelle the Bartender. It's like,
But also,
can you not?
if she saw a TikTok tomorrow that told her dark magic was going to be like Valentine's Day, you can't celebrate it because the devil is going to come in, like, no, she would believe it.
Oh no, she would believe it. I just hope she doesn't come to the internet.
Oh, no, I
next
think she
time.
still would. I think she would think it's like her duty to spread the word.
Girl, just make the drinks. Make the freaking drinks and call it a day, please.
Before we go any further, we have a word from our sponsor, Pretty Litter.
Pretty Litter is my favorite cat litter that I have ever used. It has a non-clumping formula that traps odor and moisture, and it's ultra absorbent. It's lightweight, low dust, so it's not going to track all over your house.
And it's low dust because apparently it's these crystals, and they even change colors when your cat pees if they have like a certain health problem to let you know you need to take them to the vet.
Yeah, it could alert you to things like urinary tract infections, kidney issues, and that's really common in cats, so I find it very useful, and it gives me peace of mind to know that every time I change my cat's litter, I can know if something's wrong.
And the fact that it just doesn't smell is a huge win because cats kind of smell.
I'm telling you right now, it does not smell. It's the only litter I've ever used that really traps the odor. Like, they all say they do, but this one actually does.
And I feel like that's the biggest downfall of having a cat, honestly. So if you want to try Pretty Litter, go to prettylitter.com/DWKT and you'll save 20% on your first order and you get a free cat toy.
That's prettylitter.com/DWKT to save 20% off your first order and get a free cat toy. prettylitter.com/DWKT.
Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
And thank you so much to Pretty Litter for being an amazing sponsor of this podcast. But okay, moving on to Hawk Tuah Girl, Haley Welch, returning to the internet post crypto scam, allegedly.
She had disappeared since Hawk Coin,
which was a smashing success.
There's the Timmy Turner thing playing in my...
Anywho, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna replay it super quick and just close your eyes and imagine this is Timmy Turner. Okay.
Not for the token price itself, but just in terms of the fact that there's fees that are being generated, there's an actual like
Hey
source
guys,
of income.
I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But
Yeah.
anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
She's like a country Timmy Turner. That's one of my favorite
See you
moments.
guys tomorrow.
Well, okay, so this is pretty fucking weird because this has already been taken down, and this was an episode that wasn't supposed to go up. It was like scheduled to go
Stop
up
it.
and then accidentally went up.
No.
Yeah.
That's weird. Like, it's been like a while. It's been like a couple months.
Yeah, I know. But she sat down on her podcast. Mind you, I think this is only episode like 14. I'm like, girl,
Yeah, she hasn't done a
in
lot.
only 14 episodes, your whole life like blew up. It's pretty crazy. I think that's a record.
That's what happens when you launch a meme coin.
Even fucking frenemies made it further than that. Like, it's just like, to not make it to like 30? Come on. But anyway, so she sat down with FaZe Banks to talk about Hawk Coin and everything and just like how she felt. And so we have a re-upload of the podcast, and then we have a bit of a falling out here with FaZe Banks, just basically calling her whole team the R word because he was frustrated that it got leaked, and I don't fucking know. There's a lot here. So let's just get into it. Now, a little bit of background on FaZe Banks. I mean, not even going into his controversies with like Alyssa Violet and like all of the shit that he's been accused of or people have talked about him for. I'm talking strictly like NFT crypto world. Like, why would FaZe Banks be sitting down with Haley Welch talking about crypto? Because that's the first thing I thought when I saw it. I'm like, random much? He has been involved in the Save the Kids token. Do you remember that one?
It's kind of like QAnon-y vibes. Like,
Yeah, it's a little QAnon
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. And apparently that project came under intense scrutiny when the token's price dropped significantly shortly after it launched. Sound familiar?
Yes, it
Hawk
does.
Coin. Rug pulls are pretty much,
the norm now.
I would say at this point, guaranteed when you're talking about meme coins and like influencer coins. Apparently, he's also promoted NFT collections and collaborations with the intention of capitalizing on like that whole hype. Like, you remember when NFTs were a thing?
Yeah, it's
Like,
giving Logan
I mean, they're
Paul.
still a thing. Yeah, and I've always just been like so confused by them because if you don't know, it's like essentially digital art.
That's what
that
I'm
you
like,
can just
can't you just-
screenshot?
Exactly. I'm like, and they're like, but you have the original. And I'm like, but why does it matter if they're indistinguishable? Like, you can't tell why does it matter?
It doesn't. Short answer, it does not. But apparently, FaZe Banks is often seen as a promoter of crypto and NFT projects. And obviously, he's gotten a lot of backlash for endorsing those projects without being well-versed or like doing his due diligence and like people telling him like that's a scam basically and you keep promoting them. Same as like Aiden Ross, I would say. Like, I think he's done a few. We've talked about like a few crypto promotions, and I've definitely gotten emails wanting me to promote or create my own coin. It's not hard to find that, and there is a lot of money in crypto, but it is pretty spineless to continuously promote it, in my opinion. So it's interesting that she chose him to sit down with her and talk about this.
Yeah, I feel like the crypto NFT world is very much like breeding ground for scams, and especially for
sure.
influencers that have a lot of people that are like, ooh, I'm going to make money. Like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. It's like, okay.
And what's so crazy is that before she decided on FaZe Banks, it appears that Haley tried to get CoffeeZilla on the podcast.
See,
to
that would
do
have been
the
a good
sit-down
move.
Coming back. It would have been a good move, but would it really have?
Probably not, because she
is
would have gotten
able-
called out. I don't think she could hold her own.
That's what I was going to say. Like, is she able to have that conversation and explain herself in any other way than just like, I didn't really know what was happening. Like, I just thought everything
Anywho,
would be
I
so
just
slay and
didn't
it
understand.
wasn't. Naturally, CoffeeZilla not only declined, but made a video exposing all those DMs. So we'll read through those really quick.
Valid.
He got a DM saying, Haley would like to have you as a guest on her podcast. You would be her first guest since the failed token launch. At least they call it what it is.
Admit again.
And it should get a significant amount of views. Would be very friendly. She really likes you and would like to have a long form conversation about the ins and outs of crypto.
Does he say I'm not a fan of her? No. Oh, I'm not a fan.
He says, I'm not a fan of what you did with Hawk and think it would be a rehab for her image to appear as if it's cool and we're cordial. I won't pretend as if it's no big deal what happened for views. It was a huge scam and I disagree massively with it. I do still have questions that have remained unanswered, so if Haley is a fan, I'd appreciate some real answers as to what happened with Alex, Clinton, and her. So far, there's been very little transparency as to details, but won't do a podcast when so much is wrong with what happened. And then they reply, I understand your position. I think the more details that come to light, you'll understand that she was a victim in this. She does care about her fans and others that have lost money tremendously and is cooperating with all authorities as well as Beerwick Law Group. Will continue to use her platform to help others, including those that were wronged by this. This has all been very traumatic for her. So shit's going down? authorities, law groups.
She was wronged in
All
the
of them?
situation. Like, who wronged her then? Who are we throwing under the bus?
I think that she could now look at it and be like, I didn't know shit and I was wrong. But there really is no out to paint herself as a victim here, because there is precedence that she could have looked into. She just saw dollar signs and was like, period, let's do it. Like, she did zero due diligence, because had she done any, she would have realized how controversial it is to launch something like a coin and then just pull all your shit.
Well, and again,
immediately.
like, who took advantage of her? Who misled her? Who's the person?
What's that guy's name?
Over
he had a
here?
funny name.
Oh, the Doc. It was like Doc Hollywood or something, but you kept saying Doc Holiday.
Oh, Doc Holiday or something. And I was like, that's not a real name. But maybe some seedy people, sure, tried to convince her.
But it feels like,
that they
how
knew
are
what they
you
were
going
talking
to
about.
not ever make a statement about any of that and just like let it all, like, oh, I got taken advantage of by, and I'm like, by who?
Yeah, I hope that in the podcast, I'm not sure because I haven't watched through all the clips. Like, I do hope she addresses that, because there really is no way to make yourself the victim here. It's all like, you, even if you were ignorant, you were still at fault.
Yeah.
Like, ignorance doesn't get you out of accountability in this situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, they continue on and say, I, and her manager would be happy to answer your questions and provide you with all that we know about the situation in advance of your appearance on the podcast for your knowledge and your own peace. We don't have all the answers, unfortunately, but we know a lot more now than we did last time I communicated with you.
Why don't you know the answers?
Doc
like,
Holliday?
Who has
Is
the
it you?
answers then? Like, I'm just...
I don't know. Oh, I see the name here. It says Christian Barker. So someone she works with named Christian Barker, I guess, is the one that's emailing him or DMing him.
Okay.
It says, please let me know ASAP on this. You are the podcast's top priority for the first episode in 2025. I could send you a draft run of the show from the production team if that would help you decide whether to come on or not. And then I can't see the full message, but he responds to that and says, it's a no from me.
That podcast has a run of show? Have you heard that? Like, are you kidding?
I thought draft run of show would be like an edit. It's like a pre-thing.
Oh no, it would
like
be
a
like,
script or
yeah, it
something?
would be like the plan for the episode. It's like, what does it say? Haley
There is no plan,
comes
girl.
out and
Yeah,
says
no.
hi. Like,
And then he asks this person to send him the agreement with Alex's company concerning Hawk Coin. So he wanted like the actual agreement that was signed. This person responds, Max Berwick has it. I understand you are acquainted with him.
and Berwick is the lawyer. The law group she was just saying she was working with.
Right. And then he says, IIRC, I don't know what that means. He won't or can't share it. And then this person says, I'm not in a position to share either. I'm sorry. And then he says, can't verify anything you say then, even what you told me about the 50% split. No idea if that's real. This person says, come tape the podcast and I will let you read it.
I can't.
So yeah, they really wanted CoffeeZilla on it.
I mean, that just shows how stupid they are to think that like they're gonna message him with zero information and just be like, "Oh, come on! Like, you want to co-sign her return?" Like, no, obviously he doesn't want
Wait,
to.
is this for real? A researcher put Haley only speaks for a total of 4 minutes of the 40-minute podcast. That 4 minutes includes the ad.
Who talks for the rest of it
I think Faze Banks.
on her podcast? What do you mean?
She said, anywho, I don't know what to say. Anyway, we'll just start with, I guess, watching the few minutes she does talk. This is her saying, like, just how she felt about everything, I guess.
Yeah, no, I feel good. How do you feel?
I don't know. I'm still a little shook up about it.
How was the nap?
Not him interviewing her.
I know.
Just a thought.
I mean, that's why I'm saying the run of show. Like, come on.
How was the nap?
It was a very long nap. I would say that's what sucks about it too. I had to read that off a phone and like put it in my words, and I was like, anywho, I'm going to bed.
What?
So
Someone
wait,
told
wait,
her
wait,
to
wait.
say. What do you mean?
Not the anywho I'm going to bed being scripted. Maybe they do have a run of show. Does she know how to form a sentence?
Maybe she is going to be a voice actor.
You know what happened? I would bet
They were told her
money
like, hey,
that-
you should leave the call.
Yeah, you should leave. Let them know, like, this is not going well. We need to cut it. Say something like you're going
I'm
to bed.
going to bed.
Anywho, I'm going to bed. See you all tomorrow.
What the fuck do you mean? And why? Oh my God, why would you admit that?
Literally, I would have
Like,
taken that.
this
to my
is her
grave.
just being like, I am a puppet.
And again, why I wanted to come here and talk about this is because millions of people are going to watch this. Everybody's kind of waiting to hear what you say.
Millions?
Everyone's kind
Really?
of waiting to see how this plays out. And 99% of these people don't know shit about crypto. Just
And
like
I'm
you.
one of them.
Just like you,
I'm
exactly.
one of them.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
I can't.
And the ongoing joke on CT right now is like, if she just did this 2 days after Trump, she'd be okay.
Exactly.
Which isn't necessarily true because of the way it was done. And that's kind of the whole point, right? There's a right and a wrong way to do this.
If she had done this rug pull 2 days after Trump got inaugurated, none of this would have happened. Something tells me that's not true.
What exactly would have changed?
He is the worst kind of finance bro. Like, he is just like if he ever found me in a bar and started talking to me, I would be mortified. Like, he is just a nightmare of a crypto bro. Most people don't understand in the CT world. But sir, you've literally promoted multiple rug pulls. Well, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, it wouldn't have even been this, like, you say it wouldn't be that bad. Like, do you mean the scam she did wouldn't be that bad? Like, and she's like, oh, I know. It's like, I thought you just said you don't know anything about crypto. What do you mean you know?
Lily, I'm not joking. I don't think she knows anything.
I don't either, but I just think she's like,
yeah,
it's just so contradictory. Oh my God.
And if you have interest, it's mostly important that your network and the people that you trust to walk into this market are exactly that, people that you can trust.
I think that's where I messed up.
For sure.
Him, just for sure. But let me keep talking. Does Face Banks not have a podcast?
Yeah. Why are you talking so much?
You can only imagine stepping into everything that your life's been the last year and the amount of time that you have been. I've been doing this whole social media content thing at a high level for like 15 years. I'm officially fucking like
at a high level.
And I still don't have it totally figured out.
Yeah, we know.
Someone like you, and my shit was gradual. I like gradually got to where I am today, and you were like fucking parabolic.
I want to start by saying thank you to all my true fans and all the people that actually watch my stuff and they keep up with me. We're trying to sort out all the pieces and stuff to like get all this figured out and make everything right. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry. Don't cry.
I mean,
don't
literally,
cry. It's gonna be good.
Is this
We're
his
gonna
podcast?
be good. And guys, listen, just as a temperature check, I just want to say, the first thing that she said to me off camera was, the minute you DM'd me, I really wish I just texted you and called you. And that speaks to me because of how I was introduced to crypto, and we'll get into that. But I'm also kind of on the back end of things too. Like, their team's been very forthcoming. My team is vetting them the fuck out right now and has been for the last week.
Why does he bother me so much? What is it? I'm trying to put my finger on it.
Because nothing he says means anything. He's just saying words.
Yeah, he is the type of person that talks to you like you're dumb, but he's not actually saying anything with any sort of substance.
Correct.
But then makes you feel dumb for not understanding what the fuck he's not even saying.
Frank, they're going to be on this episode. It's such a weird blend and mash of worlds. No,
it rolled out.
Don't cry, Haley. It's fine. It's all going to be okay. Life is going to be okay. Oh, Haley, no.
Oh, don't do that. Don't stare at me.
No.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. So
You're adorable.
Just give us a minute.
Okay. It's going to be okay.
Well, so basically how this idea got brought to me, it was supposed to be like what they call it, a long-term coin. And the guy that ran the account, he was like, oh, we're going to change like the way everybody thinks of crypto. Crypto is going to be a good place. And I feel really bad for all the people that got affected by it. And
she was like, yes, I'm the one.
Planned. And all the money out of this episode is getting donated to all the animals that have been affected by the fires up here.
And I'll match it. Me, Ricky, I'll match it, whatever. It's really, really important for me to make sure that we address everything and get through all of exactly what happened. I think that it's really, really important at this point to be totally transparent about everything that happened with you and your partners and this launch and in crypto, and what makes this bad and what makes what Iggy Azalea is doing maybe even good, and what makes Trump's doing different, right? I want to get through all that. So I brought two guys.
Iggy Azalea, Trump, what are we?
This crypto shit at a very high level. I brought Thread Guy. He's the biggest streamer in crypto.
Literally, you are speaking a different language.
This was like they invited him on. They were like, we need someone to explain anything. He's like, I can do that.
I love that he just told her, like, you're gonna be fine, your life is gonna go on, but then this link says Faye's telling Haley this will follow her for the rest of her life. Oh, got it.
Everything that happened to you is really, really bad for the market. It's really, really bad for us.
Oh, great.
I hear everything that you're saying, and you're a human being first, and no matter which way this falls, I mean, it might not ever be in a spot where it's totally good. You might have to hear about this for the rest of your life. Probably. But let's just be transparent and make it right.
Okay.
I'm dead. Then she cuts to a sponsor, and then I think she mentions that all of her sponsors dropped her, and this is the only one that didn't.
All right, you guys, I only got one sponsor left because there's some real ones, and they've stuck with me since every bit of this started. Game Time believes in me, y'all, and I believe.
Literally, that's kind of crazy. Every sponsor dropped her. I don't know how many she had, but that's, I mean, for a podcast, that's like devastating.
What the fuck is Game Time?
Yeah, what is Game Time? Do we want to watch the sponsor?
I was like, I'm sure Google it. It's probably like a gambling website.
Believe in them.
Game Time's more loyal than most of y'all's mans out here.
Yeah, some of those guys just leave at the first opportunity they get. Not Game Time.
Hell yeah, this podcast ain't going
The
nowhere.
fuck is happening?
And neither are them game time deals.
Game Time gives you the best price guarantee, and Talk Tuah gives you the best damn time. So if you can't decide what to do for shit like me, then you've got Game Time Pick. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value.
So it's like
I just
like
cannot
a ticket
unsee
place.
Timmy Turner reading all of this. But also, what the fuck? Like, what is it? Like, what is the
I
thing?
think it's like a seat geek, but for games.
Oh, I really was not picking up what she was putting down. Okay, anyway, slay on with your sponsor, queen.
That little framed photo on the table between them.
Everything
Like,
is just
set
very
decor
bizarre.
is great,
and I
yeah.
feel really bad, but like she just doesn't have a very a presence on camera at
Okay,
all.
I hope this isn't offensive. Is she considered Gen Z?
I would think so. She seems pretty young. Yeah, she's probably like in her early 20s.
I feel like I see and this does not apply to all Gen Z. I love, there are some Gen Zers.
Do not
that
insult them because it's almost as bad as insulting BTS.
Well,
so careful.
I was gonna say not all of them, but there's a lot that it seems like when I watch their social media or something and they're talking, it's like they're all soft spoken and they kind of just like word vomit.
Oh, I definitely
do you know what I'm
have
talking?
seen some that are not, but I know
for
what
sure.
you're trying to describe.
Yeah, like it's this like they're not that confident, but they are confident, but it sounds like they're not.
You know who comes to mind when you just said that? That like Lilith girl that we were covering with the Anna Paul thing.
Yes.
She like talks like so timid like that.
Yes.
Like yeah, there is a
And kind
few
of
like that. I don't
second
know if it's
guesses
a
themselves.
Gen Z thing. It's also weird because I feel like back in the day when someone would have a podcast or any sort of presence on social media, they were very like powerful presences, whether that was annoying or really funny or not. Like whatever they did, it was like loud and like in your face and entertaining. With Hawk Tuah though, I don't even know that it's a mixture of that. I think that there are, and I've said this before when covering her, like I think that there are people that just don't vibe well with a fucking camera sitting in their room like that, because it doesn't feel like just a person who comes and sits down. It doesn't feel like you're like talking to people, but you are. And then like you have to make that connection. And then I don't know. She just doesn't have it, girl.
It's also because like being in a studio is much different than like, for example, I'm sitting in my office by myself and there's no one else in my house right now. Obviously, like you guys are watching, but like it doesn't feel real, you know? Like it feels like there's a disconnect. Like it feels like we're just having a conversation. She is in a studio that other people built her with a run of show that other people wrote, and like she just shows up, and I feel like that must be really uncomfortable. And I get that because I've filmed stuff where it's like, okay, here's the script and it's like, here's what you're supposed to do. Also, I wouldn't have been handed a podcast. So like, I get why she's like that because it feels like it's just like a bunch of adults telling her what to do and like putting her in front of a camera and being like, okay, go.
But
And
at the same
like,
time,
ugh.
there's people that naturally have a gift, and had they been given this same exact thing as her,
They
would have
wouldn't-
done 20 times the job. Even FaZe Banks, as annoying as he is, you can tell he's somewhat, you know, he's trying to pick it up. He's trying to like do something.
Well,
to, like,
he,
say
I mean, as
something.
he said, he's been in the industry for 15 years. So it's like
He's a,
he has
no,
experience.
high
Oh,
level.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. She doesn't seem like a big talker.
In general. So
Yeah.
like talk to her, but not really. Before we continue, we really quickly want to thank our next sponsor, and that's OneSkin.
OneSkin is one of our fave sponsors. We've had them for a very long time, and we've been using them for a very long time. They are a skincare line that uses their proprietary OS01 peptide.
And the OS01 peptide works at a cellular level to improve key aging biomarkers, and it really works over time. So the more that you use OneSkin, you're going to see results. We definitely did. After a few months of using OneSkin, we were like, okay, now I get it.
I mean, look back at videos of me a year ago. And they have everything from their flagship facial moisturizer to their sunscreen, which comes in tinted and non-tinted, and body and face. They have it all, and I use it all.
So if you guys want to try out OneSkin for yourself, you can head over to oneskin.co and use code DWKT to get 15% off.
That's 15% off at oneskin.co with the code DWKT. And after you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them, and you're going to tell them the girlie sent you.
And thank you so much to OneSkin for being an amazing sponsor of this podcast. Okay, then it moves on to, they bring in like some special guests, and then it says she has a lawyer present and talks about like the person who got her involved in the crypto.
Oh, okay. That's what I was asking for.
Have with us, he's off camera, but do you want to introduce?
I have my lawyer here too.
What's your name? Christian Barker. Okay, cool.
Isn't that the person that DM'd CoffeeZilla?
Yeah.
Her lawyer was talking like that to CoffeeZilla?
Uh-huh.
That doesn't seem kosher. Okay.
But also, why is FaZe Banks leading this show? Like, he's like, do you want to tell him this? Do you want to
Who
introduce
the fuck else
this?
is gonna lead it, Lily? It's not her.
Like, why is, like, I just don't get it. And like, who told him to take charge of it? Or is he just doing it?
I think it's just a general vibe. Like he went there and was like, I'll be on your podcast, but then realized that nobody's saying anything and he just had to pick it up, if I had to guess.
I've done that before, actually.
So
Explain.
this idea got brought to me like months ago, and I was kind of, I don't want to do that. I don't know anything about it, and I've never heard the space is a good place to be. So I was like, I don't know about it. Which we trusted the guy that come to us. He was a friend of, I don't know, a friend of a friend, I guess you can put him. That was my biggest mistake.
Yeah,
I probably should have looked into him.
We heard a little bit about him. Apparently he had like a pretty strong network in LA and kind of used that as leverage to, you know, give himself a vouch. And I think the guy probably more or less overstated his qualifications in executing something like this. Fair to say?
Yes.
Which is usually the case.
Yeah, that's 99% of the time. What happened after that?
Well, really, everything went good, and then I noticed, like, the day of the launch, he was, like, a little weird about it, like, he was pacing around on the porch, and I don't know, it just makes you suspicious. And then we finished a podcast that day, and then I ended up going in that room over there to get on that live, where I was, like, scripted to say this, that, and the other, but put it in my own words. So I done that, and then that's when you got on, and you were asking him questions, and he couldn't answer them. So I was like, okay, something's wrong. He can't answer a simple question. And then CoffeeZilla got on there. Scary guy, let me tell you. Don't ever want to have a conversation with him.
What? Are you fucking kidding me?
She's a fan. She wants to have you on her podcast. I don't ever want to have a conversation with him.
You begged him. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, I thought that was weird when the live that she's referring to, he gets on and she's like, well, then why the fuck are you on, Coffee? Like,
yeah. Oh my God. I can't.
A little bit more charitable than Coffee. I think Coffee kind of has a little bit of disdain for crypto in general. Us, on the other hand, we live and breathe it every day. We want to see crypto
live
succeed.
and breathe it every day.
We do it every single day. But Coffee definitely, like, you know what I mean? He's definitely asking the right questions. It's the way that he asks them, maybe. Is why you guys can't really.
Who is this individual to the right who has not said a singular word?
I don't know. She never really says much, but then when she does open her mouth, it's stuff that's like, oh no, don't say that.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Find a spot to like talk or have like any sort of conversation with each other. But we actually did talk to him. We had a conversation with him, and he gave us some broad questions to share and ask you. They're good questions.
Oh, that scares me if they come from him.
No, don't worry about it. Don't be scared.
He's such a scary guy.
Coffee is a little scary, but it's okay.
He means well, though.
This whole thing is a little scary. Yeah, at the end of the day, he wants to he just wants to see people move the right way. And again, that's the difference between you, Iggy, Trump, is they just simply did it the right way. There's a whole set of standards and rules that this market follows.
I'm sorry, is the right way to launch a coin to be doing it as the president of the United States? Because that seems like not normal. And it seems like maybe
a conflict
that
of
shouldn't
interest.
be allowed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is
just
all
a thought.
Insane.
So this was her, I think, answering one of the CoffeeZilla questions.
That's how it got brought to me. It was supposed to be done the right way. Like, it was going to be good. Like, half the money, it was supposed to go, like, into my charity. That's really why I agreed to do it. Just for the simple fact, putting money into that.
Stop.
It was a way to, like, get all my community gathered up together. It was just, I don't know. It was brought to me in, like, a positive way. Like, it was going to be something good and long-term, but it didn't go that route.
But she even just said a minute ago that, like, she was, like, at first, she was like, I don't know anything about that. I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound good. But now she's like, it was going to be a good thing.
She just thinks that charity sounds better. So she's trying to throw that in there. But it's like, girl, you did not. Please. That would have been, if that's the truth, the first thing you would have said even in this podcast is like, I really had a good heart going into it and I got fucked and like I didn't know what was happening. But no, you literally started with like, I don't know. No idea what happened.
That's the thing. It's like, I don't even think that it's like, oh, you wouldn't have given money to charity. Like, I don't know. She does. I know she has some kind of like animal foundation that she launched pretty quickly after she got famous. But like, that's kind of irrelevant because like the problem is she just has no clue what's going on ever.
Yep.
So it's like a smack in the face.
100% of the time, the pitch is always going to be positive. It's we're the right guys, we're the ones, et cetera, et cetera. Again, I think that's why we're here. Thread, Frank, maybe introduce yourselves and give your.
Yeah. Hey, Frank. Been in crypto for like 4 years. I guess we just go to the questions first, or.
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah. Like natural conversation.
How much, like, did they offer you money up front? This is what I think the internet always wants to know is, like, do they offer you money up front, part of the tokens? Like, how did that work? Like,
so the deal, I can speak to that. So the deal that she did was like a brand image likeness deal where they paid her $125,000 up
Holy
front.
shit.
They were supposed to pay her $200,000 after the launch of the coin within 30 days. she was supposed to have full transparency to tokenomics and everything going on, which they did stay in communication about it, but it just was an ever-evolving game plan.
Well, there you go. You have her fucking reasoning right there. You get
sold out,
125
yeah.
grand, and that's what you wanted. I'm assuming none of that went to your foundation. She
No.
said that after, like, I don't know. If she would say it if it had. So it's just like, you saw that number, which who the fuck can ever say they're gonna get $125,000 check? Like,
Well,
that
and
doesn't
also
exist.
though they say that she was supposed to get 200,000 afterwards, so I'm guessing she didn't. And if she said that like half of it was supposed to go to charity, it was probably the half that was coming out of the 200,000 maybe that was going to charity.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But so total $325,000.
For Hawk
200,000
Tuah
of that being
put a
decided
face on
upon
a
before it
fake
even
coin.
goes live.
Yeah.
So you don't even know how successful it's going to be, and they're still willing to give you that money. That doesn't sound any alarm bells off.
Well, that's, she hasn't, like, yeah, she has followers. She's like gotten to have a name for herself. But like the fact that you would be so confident in your brand and your community that you would be like, oh, that makes sense that they would be offering me $325,000 for a meme
I don't think it
coin.
makes sense to her. I think,
No.
again, that she never thought she was going to get a check that big. And then it happened and she just said, fuck it. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Like, are you kidding? So I think that's what it really was. And then she's just trying to navigate.
Yeah, well,
everything
and
else.
also I think like the fact that she didn't know crypto was like how she convinced herself maybe that it was okay. She's like, oh, well, there's 325. Oh, that's a lot of money. Okay, like.
Anywho, sounds good.
So back end participation was to always be mutually agreed, and what they had agreed on in the tokenomics was there was a 10% allocation of the token that would be on a 1-year lock and then a 3-year drip after that. Of that 10%, half of that was supposed to go to the company that created the project and half was to go to her. So out of 100% of the token, she would have had 5% at the end. Obviously she has lawyer, manager, business manager, so even that 5% would have been cut down by over a quarter due to people that she has to pay out on her non-crypto.
So all the structure you just described, what happened to all that?
It's not like it has solved that on launch, 3% of the token was made available for public trading. A lot of this information we found out since the launch. We, as in Haley's internal non-crypto team, but 17% was given to pre-sale investors, 2/3 of which approximately sold the day of launch. So there is 20% in circulation.
And just to be clear about where you kind of jumped into this, you were telling us in the back room that this kind of all was happening even without you really knowing or having view on any of it until post. You know, you're handling the cleanup and trying to protect Haley and trying to do right by Haley
You just
now,
said that they're
but you didn't
transparent
have
the whole time.
The opportunity to like.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
I negotiated the contract with the company. We have like,
I can't deal with him not having a mic. Like,
That's what I
can
said,
you
like
not?
the fact that he's not on camera and she's just like, look how little she is next to him.
I know. So basically, the rest of this is apparently the boys telling her advice on like how she could have done things differently because FaZe Banks is an expert on everything.
For next time.
And then just like reassuring her that she'll be okay. And she's just like, okay, sounds good.
But also it's going to follow you around for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. I do want to jump really quick to CoffeeZilla's video because he DM'd with Haley's lawyer, as we know. And he is questioning like the payouts and exactly how much she got paid because I don't think he believes that 325,000 was the number.
Contract says she was paid $125K on signing, $200K within 30 days of launch. Interesting. We didn't know that. And 50% of the net proceeds of the project.
Is that what he just said? Because I
thought
didn't
it
hear
was-
the 50% part. I thought it was
Yeah.
10. I'm very confused, but okay.
With mutually agreed upon tokenomics, the tokenomics we agreed to.
Oh,
were
it was
for half
that
of
she
the
got
10% of the
50% of the 10% that was like being.
Okay. And it did, I wonder with like how much money people put into it, which is still crazy that people put money into it, how
Okay.
much that is. I'm assuming that's what he's going to talk about
Yeah.
now, like how much she actually made.
Now, I want you guys to realize that what he just said is backtracking on what he's been saying the entire time, which he's been saying the entire time, oh, it's just 50% of the 10%, 50% of the tiny amount of tokenomics we're going to eat. No, what he's saying here, finally, he's giving us the real story. It's 50% of the net proceeds of the project, period. That is completely different from what they've told me. And so I say 50% of the net proceeds does not mean half of 10%. It means 50% of net proceeds, which is market making, pre-sale. This is like $4 million that they talked about. And I don't know if he's just trying to play dumb here, but he goes, we were told by Memetic that MM fees and pre-sale funds were going to be used to run the project.
In the Bahamas?
Guys, it was $4 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no, it was in the Cayman Islands.
Cayman Islands.
Because that was, do you remember he said that? He was like, this was supposed to be like a long-term thing. Like, it costs money to keep a project like this going. We have people working. Like,
yeah.
$4 million to run a meme coin? Or like 3.9 million? Sorry, it's like 3.9, I think. How are you getting that 50% only applies to 10% of the tokens? I'm baffled. You think they need $3 million to run a meme coin? 3 plus. 3.9 roughly. The dev team, by their own admission, said they had 4 guys.
I'm sorry. This is kind of giving Janet a little bit. Why is this lawyer going back and forth with CoffeeZilla in the DMs, knowing that this could be used against her? And then like, he doesn't even seem 100% sure of what actually happened. He seems to indicate that like her team was being dishonest, the crypto team.
Like the lawyer still doesn't realize that maybe they got fucked.
I mean, I don't know, but like, is the solution to go back and forth with freaking well-known influencer who clowns on her? Like, that is the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
I would fire him over this.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you're in his DMs going back and forth, giving him information.
Making us look stupid.
Like, that is insane. So yeah, I guess it was not only that $325,000 that she only got paid only $125,000 of, it was 50% of a lot of money.
Well,
that's
so
what it
basically
seems like.
what CoffeeZilla is saying is that they made around $4 million. So according to that claim that they were making 50% of the net proceeds would mean that she got half of that. So that would be $2 million. But the lawyer seems to be saying that they didn't get that because that money was actually just going back into the project. So it's like either she didn't get the money or they're lying about it.
Just a fucking disaster. But like I said, the reason we even saw that podcast is because it got queued up to be posted and then accidentally was posted before it was supposed to be live. And then FaZe Banks took to no other place, of course, than Twitter to discuss how stupid he thinks Haley and her team were by, again, using the R word like 5 times. So we will blur those out and just skip over that word, obviously. Such a smart man. He uses it a lot. He says, so in an attempt to hear Haley Welch's side of the crypto scam story, I agreed to do her first podcast back. I had heavy stipulations, including number 1, not allowing markets to be manipulated by leaking this episode's existence before a resolution was found. Oh, so that's why it was like queued, but it wasn't supposed to go live until like basically she had figured more out.
I was going to say, what resolution? I'm assuming there hasn't been one.
Number 2, her team finding a real solution regarding the money she made, where that should go, and what to do with the Hawk project moving forward. These were non-starters, and we were told this episode would only ever see the light of day if we explicitly greenlit it. Which I'm just like, why would you spent that whole fucking episode telling her like, no big deal. Like, this is what you should have done. Like, it's going to be fine. And now you're pissed that that's all the like, why would that have been better, even if she found a solution?
The idea of like doing like a hypothetical just in case podcast that was like going to be like held and like maybe not even ever
so dumb.
It's weird.
He says these incompetent R words leaked and or inside traded the token. We noticed a random spike in volume on the coin, 2 out of 2. Don't know what that means. Along with random messages asking us if we did the podcast. Very clearly, her team was not as solid as they claimed to be. They completely blew it, and we called the episode off right then and there. Now today, the episode randomly gets leaked. The price of Hawk is pumping, and they completely fucking fumbled the bag yet again. What a fucking mess. Poor girl. It's a wonder how she found herself in this position in the first place. Now, Haley Welch, I'm going to speak to you direct and say the exact same thing I said to you on Spaces that night. Fire everybody, your team's fucking R-worded. Full disclosure, nobody from our team has / ever will own Hawk tokens. Highly advise anyone following the story stay far away from this, as a majority of the supply is owned by unknown quote-unquote developers. I am confused. So he's saying that he filmed it
and then found out,
and then something happened after filming that made him not want it to go
well,
up.
because he had said even when in the beginning that like his team like was looking into it and stuff, so maybe it was like they found stuff out after filming
and then didn't. Okay, so I guess that makes a little bit more sense.
It was like, okay, hold until we're done like looking into everything and then you can post it, but then they kept looking into stuff and we're like, oh, this is fucked. You lied.
And then on that post, he attaches 2 photos. One is a photo of him filming the podcast. And then he shows a screenshot of a text message thread that he receives the link to the podcast on. And it's from someone called Tav, my brother. Not sure entirely who that is. But FaZe Banks responds, LOL, yeah, you guys are fucking R-worded, man. Jesus Christ. Needless to say, he was not happy. All things considered, you're dumb as fuck for having done the podcast in the first place. Like, you literally were giving her an out the entire time while also trying to act like you are the superior knowledge of crypto, and then just being like, oh, well, basically, it's okay. Like, you should have just done better. You should have done it like Trump and Iggy Azalea. I'm like, what the fuck coin did Iggy Azalea launch? I need to look into that. My God.
And it just makes him look bad for not, like, him saying all of that without even knowing the full story.
Well,
like, he went on and was willing to defend
the
her.
full story and still agreed to do it.
I think he found out the information that was bad afterwards. So he like took their word for it that like everything was cool, and then found out stuff that maybe was like they were being...
Do you mean cool in the sense that Haley herself didn't do anything maliciously?
Correct.
Okay. So he knew something was wrong, but he didn't think that she was at fault. He thought like she got tricked and was
like
talking
he
about
thought
that.
their team, their non-crypto team, like was like had their hands clean, and maybe they didn't. I don't know that for sure. Alleged.
Yeah, admittedly, crypto's a little bit confusing, and we have discussed that prior. But from everything I understand, a lot of crypto can be scammy, and a lot of crypto does enable that type of shit to happen and for influencers to take advantage of their followers. And it does seem like that's what happened here. I think she saw that signing bonus and was like, holy shit, over $100,000, the amount of shit I could do with that, and just got lost and was willing to sell herself out for it. And she did. And she's going to pay the price, because not only did your sponsors leave just because you got canceled, quote unquote, your sponsors left because people are never going to trust you again. If they trusted you, I find that interesting, but like they're not going to now because you're obviously willing to lie for $1. Who the fuck wants to support that?
I didn't see, when I just did a quick Google, I didn't see any connection with her and the Tav person, but that is Aiden Ross's manager.
Shut the fuck up. That tracks. So yeah, he probably is a part of her team. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's pretty much it. That was her return. The episode did get taken down very quickly. So I do believe it was probably put up by accident, and then FaZe threw a fit online, and then I guess she took it down.
I guess, but that's even weird. Like, why would you schedule like an episode that you weren't positive was gonna...
I have no idea. I do know now that she's like double fucked, because if that was gonna be her return episode, now what the fuck are you gonna do for a return episode? It can't be that one.
Well, and that one just, I mean, the fact that she literally spoke for 4 minutes of the entire podcast, like shit, like she doesn't have anything to say.
You know,
she
Game Time is
on.
pissed. They're like, bitch, you had to get that up in time, and now look at you. They're gonna be your last one to drop you. I'm telling you. I don't think you're gonna have any sponsors anymore, girl. But anyway,
wow,
that's pretty much it. She returned very quickly and then disappeared once again. So I guess we'll discuss her return when that arrives.
On one hand, I kind of feel bad for her, but then on the other, I'm like, no,
I don't feel bad for her, because she could have made lemonade out of lemons, and she could have just stuck with her show and had guests on and had her supporters and like
stay in your lane.
Yeah, literally. You didn't need to go to this extent just because you wanted that amount of money. Like, there's a reason why other people are not doing that, and why it does sound too good to be true. So I don't really feel bad for her. She can't claim ignorance here, even though I do believe ignorance played a huge part in it, as does with everything she does.
Well, and it's like, it seems like she was taking a shortcut to get more money, when it's like, you already were in an opportunity where you were making money that you never would have seen in a million years, probably.
Yeah.
Then you took another shortcut. Like, bad idea.
Yeah. And again, when we covered her initial crypto Hawk coin scam, we talked about how this wasn't just a sudden thing. For months leading up to it, she started pretending that she gave a shit about crypto.
That's what I said, even when she was like, I didn't know anything about crypto, like in this interview, and I'm like, remember when you said you went to like the Bitcoin con?
And I mean, we called it out. We were like,
oh,
this
here's
is
my
bullshit.
Solana wallet, and like it was so fake. And then her saying that even her fucking Anywho was like
scripted.
Someone told her to say it. Everyone has been telling her to say all of this shit, and she's been saying it.
Yeah, but guess what? You're still the one saying it, and that means you're the one responsible for its repercussions. So,
and now it just shows, and like you said, like if anyone trusts her to begin with, don't trust her now, because she's willing to be a parrot for all of these people, and like they're just puppet stringing behind the scenes, and she's just like, oh, what do you need me to say? What should I do? And then just goes, I didn't know.
I wonder if because she surrounded herself around influencers like Jake Paul and stuff so soon after she got big, if she got the wrong idea.
It was a bunch of men taking advantage of her, being like, oh, the stupid girl that doesn't know anything about crypto.
But not just crypto. I mean, like, they are the type of influencers who would promote something they don't like or say something like, she probably got the wrong idea of how influencers who are like worth at least, I mean, have some morals, how they do things. You know what I mean? Like, if I get a product and I hate it, I can't promote it. It would literally eat me up.
Well, and then she sees them all being really successful and they're all like, oh yeah, like you've got a good team behind her, but it's honestly just a bunch of people taking advantage of her to begin with. So,
but anyway, that's pretty much it. And yeah, we will catch up with her soon, I fear. Anyway, we love the internet.
Can't wait. Yeah.
I found mine last night and I have it lined up, ready to go.
I found one, but it has a song in it.
No,
so I feel like
you can't do it.
I know, but it's so good.
Mine is about parenting. I have seen this girl, Real Roncina, on my For You page a few times now. She's so fucking funny.
Shit, y'all want to know what the fuck I got going on? I'm trying to cook. I'm overstimulated as fuck. My kids are screaming in the background. The TV loud as fuck. My house looks a mess, and my husband just came by and slapped my ass. That's how the fuck I'm doing. Nobody talks about the fact that you be thinking that, oh, she's just touched out from her kids. No. I'm touched out of my own skin. If I could peel this bitch back and take it off, I fucking would. Because that's how much I don't want nothing touching me. Y'all see my hair up in this fucking bun? Y'all be coming, oh, I look like a Q-tip, da-da-da. No, this is the only thing holding me the fuck together. That's what the fuck is holding me together. And then the crazy part about all of that is then my kids lay down, my house get real quiet, and I be like, my angels. That's how fucking delusional we are. That's what convinces you to have another kid. You will never get me, you fat, funky ass bitch. I will never go back to the world of labor and delivery. Anytime I think I want a baby, I go and look at all the videos of my kids from when they were young. I have a video when my son shitted from here to here. It gets me right.
I love her so much, and it is so fucking true. My kids are fucking feral, especially like around the hours of 6 p.m. So it's chaos. And then when everything's quiet at night, I'm like,
when we film usually.
Yeah, literally. And then it gets quiet and I'm just like, they are my angels. Like, I literally feel guilty that they're sleeping. And then recently I got rid of even like the changing table that I had for Amelie and like all of her baby stuff because it was taking up so much room. And I was just like, I don't have a baby anymore. And I was feeling really sad, but you really do need to get yourself together because you don't want to do it again. You really don't. I'm telling you right now, you don't want to do it again.
You can find new things to appreciate.
And that's what I'm doing. Because I mean, if I have another baby, it's just like hitting the restart button, but then they're going to get older. So then it's like, I have to stop having them eventually. And I will just deal with the sadness right now.
Just picturing you with like 15 kids.
Take that picture and burn it. It's not happening. Yeah, but the overstimulation, I have to wear headphones while I'm cooking because I can't. Everybody's fucking talking.
Literally, like that is one of the biggest reasons I don't think I can ever have kids. I literally don't think I could handle it. Like I would go crazy.
It's a lot.
Like I get overstimulated by myself.
No, it's a lot.
This just made me smile. It's not an animal one for once.
Oh. Oh my God, I love her. I fucking love her.
Like, I just done fall in love.
Let me tell you, some people are just good people and are meant to do like whatever they do, they bring light into people's day. Like seriously, it's amazing.
And to think that like being a male person must be such like a mundane, like it's just the same thing every day. Like
different packages.
I guess different packages. But like you get to see people, you get to be like around people, and you don't have a whole lot of like no one really telling you what to do because there's kind of just one main mission. Like turning that kind of a like more like it could be a really mundane job and like making it into something better.
Yeah, no, and I mean literally
like
she could do anything though, and she would just bring brightness into people's day. I love it. Love it so much. Well, anyway, guys, if you made it to the end, we appreciate you very much. And as always, we hope you have a fabulous rest of your week, and we will see you on Friday. Bye.
Don't buy meme coins.
Please.